Roughly 100 kilometres from Melbourne, as the crow flies, is an area called Rubicon. The Rubicon tramway is a 2-foot gauge tramway built for the construction and thereafter maintenance of the Rubicon hydroelectric scheme. It follows the aqueduct that directs water to the power stations. Starting at the Rubicon power station, the tramway runs up a 1.3 kilometre long haulage, or incline, to a height of 443 metres above the start point with an average grade of 1 in 2.8. A cable-drawn carriage was hauled up the incline which carried people and materials. In this 1991 scene we see the carriage, cable and winch house that pulled the carriage up the incline. The view from up here really is quite spectacular. The first bridge we come to is the 15,000 foot Siphon bridge. We are now 15,000 feet or 2.8 miles, 4.5 kilometres from the northern beginning of the tramline. This is where a siphon, a big pipe, carries the water in the aqueduct down into the valley below the bridge and back up the other side to continue its journey in the aqueduct system. Excess water not required is sent down a sluice into the creek below. This is the 15,000 foot Siphon bridge in 1991. The bridge was rebuilt in 2002 to the condition we see it today. The tramway remained in operation up until the mid-1990s when it was replaced with quad bikes for employees to inspect the aqueducts. Gravel has been placed between the rails to build up a safe walking surface for the bushwalkers and hikers. The main trail heads across this bridge and off into the bush. The walking becomes a little rugged after this. Be careful where you put your step, as there are surprises in this area, especially in the summer sun. The bushfire tragedy of 1939 saw the timber mills in the area relocated to areas outside the forest as the risk to the communities servicing the mills was too great. This mill was reconstructed by the State Electricity Commission after the fires to provide a local source of timber to rebuild and maintain buildings, bridges and tracks. Moving on from the sawmill, we find the Royston power station and the Royston bridge. The Royston power station receives its water from the Royston dam via an upper aqueduct that also had a tramway that was removed once the aqueduct was completed. The aqueduct runs into Royston power station forebay and down a penstock that consists of 270 metres of wood staved pipe on its upper section and 279 metres of steel pipe for its lower section before feeding into the power station and then into the Rubicon aqueduct. The Royston Bridge has been rebuilt to accommodate walkers safely. The Royston power station had a siding off the tramway that ran inside the building. A set of points took the siding across a bridge over the aqueduct and into the power station. The trackwork is still visible, although covered in soil. A little further along, we find another siding, this one into the shed that housed the tram. In the later years, the tram was a battery-powered cart for inspecting the aqueduct. The amenities at the back of the tram shed are not looking too good these days. Let's take a ride along some of the track. The Beach Creek Bridge was destroyed in 2009 by a fire. The state government agreed to rebuild it for tourists in 2011. As we travel further along, we find sections of the rails that have been disappointingly pushed aside to make way for easy riding of the quad bikes. Water rises out of a siphon that comes from across the valley. The tramway drops from here to the Lubra Creek Bridge. The Lubra Creek Bridge was rebuilt in 1991 when the tramway was still active and remains in original condition today. Its condition, however, has deteriorated quite a lot over the years. Along the entire tramway, it is the only trestle bridge left in original condition with rails still in place. Even though it is in bad condition, it is rare to find an original example of a tramway bridge in this condition still after all these years. Let's continue on up the tramway. At the head of the tramway is where it all starts. The Rubicon dam supplies water to the aqueduct that in turn supplies the power stations. The tramway and aqueduct both start at the bottom of the dam wall. The tramway may be gone, but it is not forgotten.
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel here.